Welcome to Scholmeyer Arena here on the TCU campus as we get set for Big 12 volleyball. Tonight, the TCU Horned Frogs are taking on the UT Arlington Mavericks. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chuck LaMandola. This is Katie Carter. We're courtside here at Scholmeyer Arena for the start of the Horned Frog Invitational. The tournament's being played on the weekend. It's Tuesday night, but you got an undefeated Arlington team taking on the 23rd ranked Horned Frogs.
Definitely. So two teams who are feeling really good right now. Confident, coming off some big wins. You got for TCU a big win against UCLA this last weekend. And as you mentioned, Chuck, that undefeated UT Arlington team.
As we look ahead towards tonight's matchup, who are your spotlight players?
So for UT Arlington, Brianna Ford, she's opposite hitter. She's going to be getting the majority of the sets for Arlington. She's putting up four and a half kills pretty much per set, and she leads the WAC conference in kills right now per set too. So definitely a player to keep your eye on throughout this match. Big hitter for the Mavericks. And for TCU, the one and only Melanie Parra, and we talk about her a lot, and it's for a reason. This is a player who just made history this week. She's the first player in D1 women's history to win back-to-back National Player of the Week. Something very special, which Melanie Parra is just that. She's a special player. She's a rare player for the Horned Frogs, someone that you're going to see a lot of going forward through this match and throughout the season.
As we take a look at UT Arlington head coach J.T. Wenger, and of course you have some history with him, both being UCLA Bruins.
Certainly, yeah. So JT and I overlapped playing volleyball at UCLA, but hey, he's done a tremendous job at UT Arlington. This is his 8th season, and he said this year he's gotten to where he wants to be. I mean, obviously being undefeated at 9-0, but just with the group of girls that he has, the style of play, doing a great job. And JT also mentioned, hey, getting comfortable in the area, obviously moved around the country a lot as a coach, a very nice resume, but him and wife Marissa are nice and happy here in Arlington.
On the other side of things for the Horned Frogs, they are led by Jason Williams, who's done an outstanding job with this program. 2 straight second round NCAA visits as the first point of the match belongs to the Horned Frogs. Becca Kelly will be back to serve after coming up with the first kill of the match. We will see UTA try to serve Brianna Ford on the outside, and there's National Player of the Week, 2-time National Player of the Week, Melanie Parra. It's never been done before, as you alluded to just a minute ago, and she is reaching new heights every time we see her play.
And you can just see, obviously, the smile on her face. She's just more and more comfortable. I mean, it's got to be such a great feeling that she feels right now.
Becca Kelly with a nice dig on the outside, and there's Melanie Parra, dug out nicely by the Mavericks. Going to be a tough ball to handle, as that was just a little too wide for Kelly to pick cleanly on that dig.
And kind of a really nice, more of like a jab tip from number 14, Brianna Ford. Kind of put the TCU defense in some trouble early on here.
Back to serve, Shecky Donkers for UTA. They go to the outside, and that kill is by Jansu Gunnaden.
And a great high swing by Gunnaden. You know, a kind of a flat, you see the fingertips of those Horned Frog blockers, they're all touching the ball on that. So exactly what you need to do to score on a high ball like that.
Gunnaden out of Istanbul, Turkey, started her career at UTSA. Melanie Parra goes to the tip, dug out by Molly Blank. Point for the Horned Frogs on that ball that was just wide.
Chuck, you got your first play of the game early on, too.
I know. I had 2 of them the other day. Go a whole year and not get a ball over here. There's a great block by the Horned Frogs up front. Roberson, along with Melanie Parra, combining on that block. TCU with the serve. They set the outside. Condit once again with the kill.
And, you know, a very risky swing, you know, the high ball set coming from the back corner of the court pretty much. But Johnston did a great job of just being patient and really swinging high. 2 really nice high swings by Gnaiden.
Samantha Glenn with the serve. Jalen Gibson with her first kill of the match. Jason Williams said the kind of secret for Jalen is to get her started early, and they do here tonight.
Well, yeah, she's a player that wants to feel good, you know, early on so that she can have some confidence going forward through the match. She also is getting a little bit of a higher set, so not so much of a quick tempo like you'll see with the rest of the Horned Frogs.
That ball side out. TCU unable to handle it. Melanie Parra with the error there on the receiving end on that kill attempt. Back to serve. Brianna Ford, the graduate out of Amarillo. Back row attack that time by the Horned Frogs. And point for the Horned Frogs is, it was a net violation on the Mavericks there up front.
And a really nice save, I'd say, by setter Molly Blank for the Mavericks to get that ball to middle Paige Rager. But, you know, just a swing and caught the net with the very tip of her finger.
Melanie Parra back to serve. She's got 13 aces. And Jason Williams said she's still trying to figure out her serve. Still has the 13 aces. There's a nice kill out of the back row that time by Shecky Donkers.
And I like the back row attack. We know that the Horned Frogs like to run back row. We've seen it with Jalen Gibson a few plays back. Personally, I think obviously it adds just another option to score a point when you have that back row attacker available.
Service error on the Mavericks. That's their first of the match. This UTA team, as you said before, 9-0 coming into this match here tonight. 1-0 away. Best start in program history. Coming off a 5-set victory against Weber State. This is as good as the Mavericks have started the year ever. And there's a kill on the outside. Nice swing that time by Shecky Donkers. Had 7 kills 3 times this year. Had 20 kills last time out against Weber State.
And, you know, she's a high flyer. She's coming in pretty fast to that ball right there. And, you know, the setter did a great job getting her kind of a 1-against-1 scenario. So she's got lots of options to swing there.
He's a freshman out of the Netherlands. On a receiving end that time, Melanie Parra. That ball blocked on the swing by Becca Kelly, who was trying to go down the line, but a good job of closing it off by the Mavericks.
And that was setter Molly Blank. So at 5'10", she's getting up and over the net on that block, putting some hands in front of Becca Kelly there.
UTA's done a good job blocking this year. They're averaging a little over 2 blocks per set. That's their first this set. Got another one there, but TCU able to recover. Becca Kelly again, and there's the power behind some of these swings that we've seen early this year from Becca Kelly. The defender was there, just could not handle the heat.
Well, she's definitely a player that has a heavy arm, and she wants that quicker set, so the dish was just perfect there for her to kind of feast on, if you will. It's the higher sets that Coach Williams wants her to work on controlling a little bit better.
Set to the outside, the back row attack. Brianna Ford, TCU able to handle it. Frogs go to the backside, and there's Jalen Gibson for the Horned Frogs with another kill. This is a nice play by Jalen because the set looked to be a little behind her.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if she was, ready or, able to take a swing off of that. But, hey, open campfire area, they like to call it, that middle area of the court.
Lily Nicholson with the serve and the dig right there. Bump set to the outside for Kelly. And Becca Kelly with another kill, her third.
And what a great connection for Kelly here off of that high ball bumps that I just said, a few plays ago. That's what she's working on, is trying to hit those bump set non-setter balls and really being patient and not making an error.
Blocked in the middle by Sarah Sylvester. Got that tip. Does it stay in? It does not. It's a side out. Now, Sylvester was there. She was able to elevate quickly, got both her hands on it, just couldn't keep it in the court.
Well, and Donkers, she was doing that intentionally, so you can kind of see from that view there, she's pushing the ball off of Sylvester's hands and wiping it off for the out ball.
Set to the outside, and there's the big swing by Jalen Gibson. Looked like the block might have been set up perfectly, but Gibson just able to kind of power it through it.
And that's that fast tempo offense that Jason Williams wants his girls to run. Is if the ball is fast enough, even though it may look like there's blockers, they're set up and ready to go, they're actually not pushing over, they're not fully set, and it'll result in a tool off the block.
Great cross-court kill that time by Donkers. Mentioned she had 20 kills against Weber State. She had 11 digs, so a double-double for her last time out. A real talented freshman coming over from Europe to play here. Outside set, dug out nicely after the swing by Brianna Ford. Melanie Parra back in the front row. Donkers went down the line there. There's a backside set. Nice dig. Bram Schreiber. They go to the outside, Melanie Parra. And I don't know if she just hit that one off the side of her hand or what. Caught the top of the net. Attack error on Melanie Parra.
Well, she definitely had an intention there. She, Melanie, we know she has a ton of shots, a ton of kind of tools in her tool bag, if you want to call it that. But, going for that kind of off-speed cut shot, I think she came into it just a little bit late.
On the overpass, TCU will score a point. That's just a case on that overpass. It didn't look like the Mavericks were really ready for it.
Right, and it's kind of a miscommunication. Middle blocker, Ava Burrows, she's the master of the net. She's middle front, so it's her cue to either, overpass, hit it back, or come off and pass that ball.
Deep serve that time. And the kill in the middle for the Horned Frogs as they feed Lexi Robeson. She's going to have a solid career. The LSU transfer out of Missouri City, Texas originally. Just kind of trying to find her way a little bit here in the system. Big swing on the outside. They got it in.
Good night, and with 6 attempts, so everyone on the Mavericks side is kind of, pin hitters are totally spread out, but Ganaiden a clutch player so far this early in the set. Ganaiden is the clutch player for the Mavericks.
Ganaiden with 4 kills. That service was long. Timeout taken on the floor here in the first half. TCU 15, Mavericks 10. We'll be back with more of the first set right after this.
Ready?
The Wild Robot is 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Do you need? Do you need? Do you need? Do you need one? Order me?
It's not just the best animated movie of the year.
Do you need assistance?
It's one of the best movies, period.
I will protect you.
The Wild Robot. Rated PG. In theaters September 27th.
Did you know that if you shave, 1/3 of what you remove is skin? New Dove deodorant helps repair it. So if you shave it, Dove it. New Dove. Replenish your skin after every shave.
TCU band here in attendance tonight. As TCU takes a 5-point lead here in the first half. And we were talking during the break, Katie, this UTA team coming in 9-0. First time we're getting a look at them. Very impressive so far.
Oh, definitely. You know, and what sticks out the most to me is the big swings off the out-of-system sets. And that's something I appreciate. Just, I guess I'm an old school volleyball player at this point, and I spoke with Coach Winger about that before the match. Like, oh man, back in our day, we were pure, you know, power, you know. But here it's a different game.
And Robertson again with the block up front for the point for the Horned Frogs, and another block for TCU. Robertson comes up big again. And the timing by Lexi Robertson tonight has been very good.
Well, and paired up with setter Lily Nicholson. I mean, she plays a big part in setting that block so that Robertson, you know, has kind of an end point to her her footwork and things like that. So definitely a dual effort there. But more blocks than I think Robertson has had at this early on in a match yet.
Timeout taken by UTA as JT Winger wants to talk things over as TCU on a 3-0 scoring run here to open up a 7-point lead in the first set. And you were talking about, you know, Robertson only has 11 blocks on the year, and a couple of them here tonight to add to that total. And
yeah, you know, obviously both middle blockers on any squad, you know, it's in their name, right? Middle blocker. So that's their #1 job. Robertson for the Horned Frogs is going to be more of an offensive force. But, you know, nevertheless, the middle blocker definitely has the size at 6'3", super athletic, capable, more than capable. So, you know, Coach Williams just mentioned, hey, Robertson offensively coming around, defensively as well. So it just kind of takes time. It takes time, especially when you're connecting with a setter. And, you know, Robertson would probably like to play more in front of the setter, but she's up front with the setter. So that means she's going around behind her. She's running that one-legged slide attack most of the time. So just kind of, I think, coming out of her comfort zone a little bit and open to it. And just, as Coach Williams referred to again, just more work in the gym.
Actually has 4 blocks here tonight, so really on pace to have her best night. There's Jason Williams looking on. Pancake dig that time by Nicholson. Melanie Parro, who's been quiet with that swing. Nicholson keeps it alive. They feed the outside Melanie Parra. That one off the hands of the blocker. She swung high. And a point for TCU. Just the 2nd kill for Melanie Parra here tonight.
And, you know, a high ball set from a non-setter in Jalen Gibson. Just that deep, flat swing that is one of many tricks that Parra has.
A bump setter to the outside. She goes to the tip. Good job defensively for TCU here, and they go back to Parra again, and she will pick up another point.
And I like the exchange of the out-of-system swinging both from the Horned Frogs and the Mavericks. Just big swings from the pin hitters. I would say very similar teams, actually, in that sense. Very pin hitter oriented.
Another timeout taken by UTA here as TCU's opened up a 9-point lead on the 4-0, make that a 5-0 scoring run. over the last few minutes. You know, we were talking before the match with Jason Williams about Melanie Parra, who has taken, coming into this match, 387 swings. And you asked, you know, you know, that's a lot. And how are you going to manage that for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I think I just said 387. Tell me about it. I just want to hear your, and you know, he said, hey, and this is something that Melanie, because she's kind of got the volleyball IQ, she regulates it on her own. The number says 387. Is she swinging as hard as she can at 387 balls? She absolutely is not. And that's what's so special about her is she's scoring with those off speeds. So she's still getting almost 6 kills a set with all those different swings, not just big, heavy swings. So, you know, obviously she leads the nation in both the categories of the kills and the points per set. But, you know, yeah, it's something, obviously, yeah, as a coach, as an athletic trainer, you're going to be thinking, okay, that's a lot of, that's taxing on your body. Jumping, your knees, your back, your shoulder. But she feels good. She's happy to do it. So Coach Williams said, we're not going to stop now. She's not going to stop now.
Coach Williams very happy with his team this year. He said they just seem to really be enjoying playing volleyball, playing with each other, and it's so far shown on the court. Big win against UCLA last time out. Ranked for the first time in program history. Started last week at 25, and there's Melanie Parra again. Moved up to 23. You have a 2-time National Player of the Week, and obviously things rolling in the right direction as we look at another kill by Parra here.
And I mean, just kind of a tight set, but you know, she's up there. She's the ability. I know I'd just land right in the net if that were me.
Dug out by TCU. Rager thought that was a point. She turned all the way around only to find the ball come right back after that kill attempt. And there's another block. Have a night, Lexi Robertson. That's her 5th.
You know, and there's something to be said about just the matchups. So Robertson, it's clicking for her. You can watch her inside hand is just low and over, taking away the angle shot of forward.
Go to the outside. That's partially blocked. Nicholson will feed the back row attack by Gibson. Nice job on the defensive end, but there's Robertson in the middle. And she's having her best night of the year so far for the Horned Frogs.
Hey, she's blowing bubbles with that bubble gun, so she's feeling mighty fine right now. She's got, you know, 5 blocks, 1 kill, but effective.
Big swing on the outside, but that one is long. As Brianna Ford trying to go deep to the opposite corner, just a little too much on it. She had 26 kills, a season high against Weymouth State her last time out. Also had 26 against Santa Clara earlier in the year. And she's a big part of the offense for the Mavericks. Melanie Parra tools it off the block. Well, we talked about at the break, you and I, that Melanie Parra was quiet. She only had 1 kill at that point, and all of a sudden you look on the leaderboard and she's got 5.
Yeah, she sneaks up on you.
Service error by Jalen Gibson. The first service error of the night for TCU. Frogs hitting .458 here in the first set.
And I would say, since they've played at home so far this year, that is the highest hitting percentage collectively up until now. It's all in the numbers.
Ford with the serve into the net. And TCU will take the first set from the Mavericks, 25-11. All around, great performance by TCU here in the first set as they win it going away. We'll take a break, come back with the start of the second set right after this.
There are those who see the world through a different lens, who take risks, who are willing to make a stand. Because trails, they aren't blazed by the timid, but by the bold. For 150 years, TCU has been creating the next generation of leaders. To think audaciously, care compassionately, lead heroically. And now, it's our turn, our time to lead on.
Frog fans, the 2024 volleyball season is here, and we're fired up to start the season off with a bang. You won't want to miss out as your Horned Frogs host big matches against UCLA, Arizona State, Baylor, Houston, and many more. We'll be bringing the action all season long at Schollmeyer Arena, so purchase season or single game tickets today by visiting gofrogs.com.
The 2024 soccer season is here, and you won't want to miss a minute of the action. Join us as we kick off the TCU fall sports season with excitement and energy. This year, we're gearing up for thrilling home matches against top-tier opponents. Get ready for an unforgettable season of goals and glory at Garvey Rosenthal Soccer Stadium. Be a part of the excitement. Secure your season or single game tickets today at gofrogs.com.
Welcome back inside Schollmeyer Arena as we get set to start set number 2. Got to start them early if you want them to be Horned Frog fans. You get them there when they're, just toddlers, not even the toddlers. Take a look at the TCU bench. The Frogs ended that first set on a 10-1 scoring run, which made the set, which was close for the most part, seem one-sided.
Well, definitely, the Horned Frogs, it got super spread out by the blocks from Alexis Robertson. So she just got on a roll. She ended up with 5 blocks just in the first set, which is, more than you'll see in a whole match from a single person. So Robertson just, for me, is who really started that separation in the score, resulting in the 25-11. But, something to be said about getting block after block back to back. It just lights up the whole floor. So, you'll hear coaches say, hey, defense fires everyone up. Big blocks fire everyone up. Not big kills, big blocks, big and it's true. I mean, it empowers the team. It makes, as an attacker like Melanie Park, feel more comfortable when you're attacking because, hey, I know my team is going to defend this swing I take if the opponent, the Mavericks, defend it. So, hey, I'm going to do what I want. Hey, if I don't get a kill, I know my team can play defense, can block the ball.
On the other side, JT Wenger really has to be talking to his team. Their hitting percentage was 0. They had as many kills as they did attack errors, and so that comes out to a 0, and that's not going to win a lot of sets.
And, okay, errors, 8 kills, 8 errors as a team. There's a lot of out-of-system swings that everybody is taking, especially the Mavericks. And I get that. That's going to result in some errors. But it just says not a lot of in-system is happening. Maybe not a lot of middles. Not a lot of action from the middles, actually. So that just shows, hey, maybe better passing, better ball control. Get that ball to the setter to run the offense to put them in a better situation. So the Mavericks had 34 total attempts, just 8 kills, whereas the Horned Frogs had 25 total attempts, 13 kills. So it's that effectiveness and then also getting the ball to the setter, running the offense.
TCU will serve first. Alice Volpe will serve. Dug out by Para. She got it over the net on the dig. There's another block for TCU. They go to the outside, and that one a little bit long on the swing by Brianna Ford. And Ford's been quiet. She's got just 1 kill, and she's their leading scorer.
And definitely some good swings. I mean, just right there, it's not out by much. So I think she's a player for sure. Coach Wenger is saying, keep swinging, it's gonna click, because he obviously trusts her. She's the biggest attacker for the Mavericks.
They go right back to her, and that one is blocked. Another block by TCU. Pushed over. Bram Schreiber, backside set. Gibson has it dug out nicely by Blank. Well, TCU is just all over these. That one tooled off the block, but it's another block by the Horned Frogs, even though that one was tooled off the block. How frustrating does it get as an attacker when everything you seem to be throwing at them gets blocked back in your face?
Well, the frustrating thing is hitting so many out-of-system balls. So that entire rally for the Mavericks was high balls. The sets were not from the setter. They were from libero Samantha Glenn. So that's the hard part, but tremendous job executing.
Big swing going down the line. Jalen Gibson, her 4th kill of the match.
And, you know, Gibson, you know she's feeling good. You know she's going to have a good night, not only with swings like that. Wow, what a piece of work that swing is. Let's talk about that for a minute. When she is in a rhythm, feeling good, that's what we're going to see more of from Jalen Gibson.
Borland match for the Horned Frogs. Excuse me, Riley Weigelt, who dug that out, had to serve, and another point for TCU.
So really good for Jalen getting another opportunity here for a swing. And you can see the transition there, and then waiting on that ball, and then just explosiveness to swing on it. I can make up my own words at any point. Yeah, explosing.
Explosing. Melanie Pyro with the tip. The point belongs to the Horned Frogs after the net violation on the Mavericks. Second time they've clipped the net trying to make a play on the ball. They go to the outside. There's the big swing from Gunnaden. And another kill for TCU. And we talked about it with Coach Wenger. I mean, this is a challenge for his team, even though they came in 9-0.
Well, definitely. And if you look at the front row for the Horned Frogs now, it's Melanie Parra, Alexis Robertson, and Jalen Gibson. So think about the blockers for the Mavericks. Who do we pick?
Timeout on the floor. We'll take it with the teams. TCU up 5-1 here in the second set.
Ready?
The Wild Robot is 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Movies just don't get better than this.
Sometimes, to survive, we must become more than we were programmed to be.
The Wild Robot is a cinematic achievement on every level and the best animated movie of the year.
How would you rate my performance? I will register that as a 10.
The Wild Robot. Rated PG. In theaters September 27th.
Ow! Who's that sexy thing I see over there? That's me, standing in the mirror. If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. 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 I'd wanna be me too.
Now, baby, your cast will spell on me. You got me doing funny things like a clown. Just look at me.
TCU on a 4-0 scoring run to open up a 5-1 lead, causing UTA to take another timeout. Just before we went to the break, we were talking about the challenge this is for the Mavericks, who come in with a 9-0 record, but they have not faced the caliber of a team like TCU.
Yeah, and you know, it's the score, even though it's 5-1, now 5-2, but you know, the Mavericks are putting up a fight. I mean, they've got big hitters. I love the offense that they run. Obviously pin dominated. I'm just biased to that. But you know, I think it's great. I think, yeah, obviously the 9-0, it could possibly end tonight, right? But that's how it works. It's sports, and that's how they get better. That's how anyone gets better when they lose.
Roberson whiffed on that set to the middle. Well, and regardless, this is an opportunity for UTA to, you know, face a tournament caliber team, and it will benefit them in the end, regardless of the outcome of this particular match. as they move through whack play. Melanie Parra reaching over the net, just throwing that ball down. Picks up another kill.
And it ended up being a pushed tight set for Melanie, unable to hit with her dominant arm, but able to save it with the left and trigger a kill.
There's a back row attack down the pipe. Shacky Donkers coming from the back row here to pick up the kill.
And again, you know, that back row offense from any team, but in this case, the Mavericks, and, you know, Shacky's up there, 1.5 blockers. I just think when you can run the back row.
That one off the hands of the TCU blockers, but a net violation for TCU. So they hit the net, trying to put up the block there. Ford to serve. Melanie Parra, big swing, nice dig on the backside by Glenn. Then go back to Parra, and she just pushes it over. She was not in position to take a big swing at that one. That one off the block and lands just inside the sideline. From here, it almost looked like that ball might have been out, but hugging the line.
Well, and I think John Suganainen is actually questioning that call. I mean, from here it looked in. They continue to play. Great swing, but great block.
Melanie Parra with the jump serve for the ace. When she can get that topspin jump serve in, it's really difficult to handle.
Well, it comes so flat, and you know, it's the hybrid, so it's a float serve toss, but then she's opening up on it as it were a topspin serve. So it's got the speed, the velocity of a topspin, but then it's moving a little bit like a float. Sometimes it moves too long. So that's the sweet spot right there. And really it really is all about the toss. If you find that sweet spot with the toss, it's a sure thing. And that's something that Coach Williams spoke to us about too, is Melanie's serve, and how this year it's even better than it was last year.
Johnson Uniden with the serve. Nice job by Ford up front, throwing that ball down, but TCU able to dig it out. They go back to Ford, who sends it wide. So side out TCU. Brianna Ford comes in with, came into the match with 132 kills. She's got a couple here, so 134, averaging over 4.5 kills per set. Not at that number, obviously, here tonight. And if the Mavericks want to get back in this match, they're really going to have to get her going at some point.
Well, and I think if the Mavericks can also continue to run the middle, and, you know, especially Paige Rager, she's been so effective for them so far this season. So if they can get her the ball and she can be successful, that's just going to help their pin hitters kind of have more opportunities.
Good rally by both teams. And another net violation, I believe, on the Mavericks there. Results in a point for TCU.
And, you know, definitely great intention to throw an aggressive tip to the Horned Frog side, but, you know, that net gets in the way, you know, more than we like it to, so.
There's the block. Sarah Sylvester with another block for TCU. First block for Sylvester today, 6 for the Horned Frogs.
Well, and out of the Mavericks' 6 points, 5 of them are errors. Sorry, out of the Horned Frogs' 11 points, 6 of them are the Mavericks' errors. So it's interesting to do that math.
Ace for TCU. Seth Bramschreiber clipped the tape, and you know, you often see an ace come on those kinds of shots. The ball changes direction or slows down, there's just nobody there. You can see in the right front, right in front of Ford. that there was open space. Perfect job of getting to Paige Rieger.
And oh my, I think the Horned Frogs might want to think about how they're going to stop that from happening again. That actually scared me a little bit. Like that view on the from the other side of the net, Paige Rieger just opening up on a ball. Wow.
Rieger coming in at 6'6", so brings a lot of height and athleticism. And there's Becca Kelly. Got off to a hot start, scored the first couple of points for the Horned Frogs. Quiet in the second half of the first set. Comes up with another kill here.
And, you know, most of her swings have been that swing right there. You know, kind of in front of the libero, either that or a sharper angle. So something that it makes you wonder, okay, what's the defense on the other side? Do they have to change something? Is it the block?
And Kelly, again, with the kill for TCU, 2 in a row for her. That one off the block. It looked like UTA had that block set up pretty well.
And, you know, that's an out-of-system swing. So, you know, a higher set for Kelly, something that she's been working on so far this week, a short week for that matter, it only being Tuesday.
Triple block up for TCU. Sarah Sylvester once again with the block. Had a couple of teammates right beside her.
And it definitely helps. You know, the triple block, it's hard to do. It's hard to time it where everyone is jumping at the same time. But it is effective.
Back row attack from Melanie Parr. Great dig that time by Blank of UTA. They go to the outside. Jalen Gibson with the kill.
And you know what's happening now, a lot of every Horned Frog attacker for that matter is 1 against 1, meaning there's only one blocker when they're taking a swing. So it's just a fast offense. It's a fast offense of TCU. The Mavericks might not be used to seeing that, and unable to kind of have more than one blocker blocking a hitter.
Sarah Sylvester with that kill in the middle, her first, and a timeout taken by UTA as the Frogs are on a 5-0 run here, and once again opening up a sizable lead here in the second set. And right now the speed of TCU's offense just really wreaking havoc on the Mavericks.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure Coach Wenger is talking about, okay, you know, it's a good team, right? So what can we do to not put them in that situation where they can run their offense, where they have 3 hitters to choose from? And that's at this point, okay, let's serve tough. We got to maybe throw some more offensive things in there, different roll shots and things like that. I mean, I know Jason Williams was telling his team, okay, Brianna Ford, her best shot is a roll shot right behind the block. And how are we going to stop that? You know, we're going to do some different things on defense to kind of maybe get into her head a little bit. So, you know, I think maybe for the Mavericks, it's showing a little bit more of that, maybe mixing up some offensive stuff, getting the ball to the middle when they can. I mean, I'm still thinking about that Paige Rieger swing. I'm sitting over here like, that girl, 6'6", but jumps. I mean, Coach Wenger said she touches 10 feet 11 inches, 10-11. Most hitters are touching 10 feet, 10-1. And okay, she's 6'6", she has her size, but a lot of 6'6" girls don't actually jump. I mean, they just don't need to. So if we can see more Rieger, and if we can see some tougher serving and get the Horned Frogs out of system, I think we're going to see a little bit change in the score for the Mavericks.
For the moment, Paige Rieger is on the bench during this rotation for the Mavericks. Lily Nicholson with the serve, floats it over. The back row attack. And a nice swing coming out of the back row by Brianna Ford, who picks up the kill. Ford with her 3rd kill of the match. We've talked about her being the leading scorer for this Mavericks team, but to this point, she's been rather quiet. Molly Blank with the serve. Quick set in the middle, and there's Sarah Sylvester again for TCU. And right now, Lily Nicholson's doing a good job of distributing the ball.
Yeah, and you know, keeping Sylvester in the game. We know Sylvester, she can do anything with any set. She's right there. She's up and available for her setter. So definitely keeps those Maverick blockers thinking.
The ball clipped the net, and a great job that time by Donkers to keep it off the floor. And there's Melanie Parra for the kill. Well, as dynamic as Melanie Parra has been for the first couple of weeks, this particular match, you know, TCU's just really spreading things around. She leads the Frogs with 8 kills, but Jalen Gibson has 7, Becca Kelly 5, even Sarah Sylvester with a couple.
Yeah, I mean, it helps when you have other hitters around you that are capable. Takes a little bit of the pressure off.
Nice job on that swing, finding some open space. Shaki Donkers with the kill. And she will serve here. Becca Kelly rotates out. Donkers 20 kills, 8 digs against Weber State last time out. Great defensive stand by Samantha Glenn, the libero, going down and digging that one out. And an attack error that time on Gibson. I'm not sure what they're called here, but.
And I mean, it looked like a nice kind of throw down tip, but I think they called it a lift, but the net was moving. So, you know, I'm not a ref. We all know that at this point. I don't do challenges.
We got a couple of the challenges.
Yeah, yeah, I'll give us some credit.
Nicholson with the big set outside for Melanie Parra, a little offline, but Paris still able to get it over. That ball off the scoreboard. And Melanie Parra couldn't get it. Big smile on her face. The scoreboard's in play, so if the ball hits it, try to go retrieve it, but it actually hit 2 pieces of the scoreboard. It hit the lower ring and then ricocheted off the video board.
Kind of a little reaction drill moment. React to that ball.
3-0 scoring run here for the Mavericks as they try to get back into this set. And a ball handling error again by Gibson. So TCU a little sloppy here. And Jason Williams wants a timeout.
And I don't know if anyone has noticed this, but there's not a lot of doubles being called on setters, and that's because coaches voted to make that a non-rule. I think I could have said that better. But there's no more doubles. The call does not exist anymore for setters. That time, it was Gibson pushing the ball over the net, so it was like a attack attempt, and it was a double. But yeah, something that the AVCA, the coaches, they voted on to take out just to prevent less stops in a match. And I personally think, you know, the way that offenses are being run across the country quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker, well, there's probably a lot more doubles happening, and you can't run your offense and you can't keep a game going if you're constantly stopping it, calling for the doubles. So.
Yeah, and you know, it's a hard thing to decide, right? You know, it's more entertaining if you're not stopping every 2 minutes,
right?
Because the setter has a ball handling error.
Yeah, and they can still call for the lift, but yeah, just no double. I think there's a lot less arguments happening too, because I feel like it's a lot of
judgment call.
Yeah, total judgment.
4-0 run for UTA. Donkers at the service line. Backside set on the slide. That's Gibson for the Horned Frogs. Jalen's having a nice night for TCU. 8 kills now. TCU got her involved early, and she's really been standing up to the task.
Well, and it's successful. I mean, for whatever reason, the matchup, Gibson and Gnaiden, you know, it's not working. She's 1 against 1, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Frogs keep feeding Gibson.
Sophia Campo with her first kill. Power with a bump all the way across court for Gibson. And then Donkers cannot handle that cleanly. Now TCU with the serve. Gibson will serve. On the overpass, Roberson with the putback. Perfect timing in by Lexi.
Yeah, and you know, Alexis Robertson doing her job. She's ready at the net for those overpasses. Mavericks, by the way, the last 2 points, ball handling errors.
Quick set in the middle. You've seen that twice tonight. We're on the quick set. Roberson swings and misses.
And it's, I feel so bad for middles because it's not an actual like swing. They're up, but they're in air. They're in midair. And the ball is either gonna come perfectly to them or it's not. And it's like, what do you do midair? Do you catch it? Do you land and then get it over? It's so tough.
Well, Lisa Duran with the serve. And Horned Frogs unable to get it back over the net. So on the attack error by TCU. Nice dig by Glenn. And nice kill that time by Donkers on the pipe attack.
And Donkers has been super effective on that pipe. But check this out, double block, and it's a high ball pipe. So double whammy there of difficulty level. Well done.
Nichols sets Melanie Parra. Glenn able to go down and dig it out. Big swing on the outside. Gunned it. A 4-0 run for UTA, right back in this set now. Down by 5, but with a chance if they can get on a run. And Jason Williams challenging that last point.
Right, so the call was a touch off the block for TCU. Jason Williams is arguing that. His blocker said they didn't touch it. Ganaiden for the Mavericks is saying they absolutely did. So it's, you know, another one of those I am not going to guess. We're going to look at it and we're going to see. I'm going to try.
We're going to see if we can dissect it and come up with the right answer.
So let's see. You know, typically you want to look at if it's near the blockers. Okay, so I'm not going to say what I think. I'm just going to say what to look at. So the pinky finger of setter Lily Nicholson, that's what you would be looking at because I think it is just that close. It would be the pinky finger, not even the whole hand. So Ganaiden did have a lot of line open. Did the ball change direction?
On that look that we had, I didn't see Lily's finger move. It looked like the ball went right past it. She said she never touched it, but you know, sometimes the players aren't going to necessarily tell you the truth, and they are going to reverse the call. So Lily Nicholson immediately turning to the TCU bench and telling Coach Williams challenge it, and the Frogs win the challenge. So instead of a 5-point deficit, it's a 6-point deficit, and TCU closing in on a second set victory here with Melanie Parra at the service line, and Coach Winger on the other side, obviously not happy with that reversal. Glenn again with a nice dig on a hard serve. Nicholson. Becca Kelly just kind of slapped it over. On the dump, Lily Nicholson with the kill. And we were talking to Jason Williams, a former setter himself, and he said, as a setter, you only dump when you're positive you can score a point.
And that time, Lily Nicholson was positive. That campfire area of the Mavericks court was wide open. It's the first time she's done it all match, so no defender is really prioritizing on that for the Mavericks.
Set point for the Horned Frogs. Para. Good job by the Mavericks to get it over and get the point. Some confusion in the middle that time for TCU. And I think they didn't think the ball was coming back in their direction.
Well, here's the thing. So Paige Rager is 6'6". So if Paige Rager is bumping the ball over, the angle of that is pretty gnarly. It's so amazing. No one else can do it.
Melanie Para down the pipe, scores the point, and the set belongs to TCU as Melanie Para with her 9th kill of the match. And her parents still in town celebrate the second set victory for the Horned Frogs, who take a 2-0 lead here.
And ending on her favorite swing, might I add, just even an out-of-system back row attack. Melanie Para still staying in rhythm, obviously doing what she loves to do, is score all the points.
We'll take a timeout, come back with the start of the third set right after this. 2-0. Horned Frogs on top.
Frog fans, the 2024 volleyball season is here, and we're fired up to start the season off with a bang. You won't want to miss out as your Horned Frogs host big matches against UCLA, Arizona State, Baylor, Houston, and many more. We'll be bringing the action all season long at Schollmeyer Arena, so purchase season or single game tickets today by visiting gofrogs.com.
There are those who see the world through a different lens, who take risks, who are willing to make a stand. Because trails, they aren't blazed by the timid, but by the bold. For 150 years, TCU has been creating the next generation of leaders. To think audaciously, care compassionately, lead heroically. And now, it's our turn, our time to lead on.
The 2024 soccer season is here, and you won't want to miss a minute of the action. Join us as we kick off the TCU fall sports season with excitement and energy. This year, we're gearing up for thrilling home matches against top-tier opponents. Get ready for an unforgettable season of goals and glory at Garvey Rosenthal Soccer Stadium. Be a part of the excitement. Secure your season or single game tickets today at gofrogs.com.
Frog fans, the 2024 volleyball season is here, and we're fired up to start the season off with a bang. You won't want to miss out as your Horned Frogs host big matches against UCLA, Arizona State, Baylor, Houston, and many more. We'll be bringing the action all season long at Schollmeyer Arena, so purchase season or single game tickets today by visiting gofrogs.com.
Everything you thought you knew is brand new.
We on the new wave. This ain't what it was.
See, when the game changes, so do we. Every day, every play. Always been greater than 12, now standing 16 strong. In every end zone, any time zone. When everyone else keeps asking, what's next? We know we are.
Welcome back inside Schollmeyer Arena as you get a look at the Hall of Fame out in front of the building itself. TCU with a 2-0 lead. Welcome back inside. Chuck Lamondola along with Katie Carter here. And so far, you know, this match has been, you know, kind of one-sided in favor of TCU. We weren't sure what to expect. This Mavericks team's really put up a good fight, though. Definitely.
So I'm definitely impressed with the Mavericks play. I think they had moments of greatness for sure in that last set. They got on some good runs. They got the Frogs in trouble, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. They're going to have to control the ball a little bit better on their side, continue to serve tough to get the Horned Frogs in trouble as well.
Let's take a look at the highlights from this match. TCU's kind of thrown up a three-headed monster here.
Right, so definitely the trifecta here with Jalen Gibson. She is hot. She's been in such a groove so far this match. She's, you know, offensively, she's been 1 against 1. She hasn't had to really try hard, if you ask me. I mean, she's having fun out there, and the same with Becca Kelly. I think she's been put in some really good situations by setter Lily Nicholson, and I love the connection there by those two. And then Para is actually just doing what she does every match, which is amazing thing. So, you know, really big swings, but also some kind of different looks at the ball too. We'll expect more from her as usual. And then if you take a look at that hitting percentage, that is the #1 thing besides the blocks, which that's overall for the match that we're looking at. So 407 hitting percentage to 055 for Arlington. So it's just that effectiveness. I think it's that lack of ability for the Mavericks to be in system. I mean, if they can get their system running, get the middles in the game, play their offense, they're very effective. I think they just have to get to that point.
And it's by far the best blocking night we've seen from TCU here at Schollmeyer, but even over the course of the year, they've got 8.5 blocks here through 2 sets, and that's really kind of changed some of these, you know, some of the momentum in the middle of the set.
That's right, and you know, and there was a moment, you know, Lexi Roberson getting those back-to-back blocks. That's something we talked about earlier, that just brings momentum, that kind of sets that pace, it builds fire. So blocking defense in general is so huge for both of these teams, and something I want to say too is, like, they're very similar teams actually. The levels are maybe a little bit different, but similar way of playing. Highly pin-heavy teams where they want to set the pins.
Molly Blank starting the 3rd set. Comes up with the service error. She serves it into the net. The graduate student out of Mansfield. Blank the setter for the Mavericks. Weigelt with the serve for the Horned Frogs. There's a point for TCU. That ball hit the antenna coming across on the attack error by Donkers. TCU with the serve. Once again, it's Weigelt. Weigelt with a great dig. TCU able to push it over on the 3rd hit. They go back to the outside, and that time Nicholson unable to dig it out on the big swing by Brianna Ford. Now Ford had some open space down the line and took advantage of it.
Well, and I really like that setter connection there. The setter gives her a little bit of height so she can really open up, swing down the line. It kind of seems like that might be her natural swing as well. I can relate to that. As an opposite hitting on the left side, you get your 1 rotation to hit there, and you're like, man, if I can go down the line, I'm doing it.
Nicholson sets Gibson, and Jalen Gibson, who's having a nice night, leads all scorers now with 10, and she's in double digits for the first time.
And you know, the swing out of the back row too, she's not really opening up a lot on it, you know, not a huge swing, but the fact that she's hitting out of the back row, it makes it more difficult to defend, harder to read. She hasn't done it a lot, so I imagine scouting her was a little bit hard too on the back row.
Gibson now with 10 kills, 7th straight match for Gibson to have double-digit kills. You know, we talk all the time about Melanie Power and how obviously how great she is, but you know, Gibson's factors big time into the TCU offense. There she is again on the back row attack and another kill. And when she's going, and Melanie Power, this TCU team's very tough to handle. And now rotating in will be Becca Kelly, another big hitter for TCU.
And it's kind of just a snowball effect. The better that Gibson does, the better Melanie Parr is going to do. Then Becca Kelly's a little bit more comfortable with her swings. So just everyone plays more relaxed when you've got multiple options on the court.
Nice dig on that swing. Magana didn't. And Becca Kelly comes up just a little bit short. Looked like that ball might have been a little bit too far off the net for the swing she ended up taking.
And, you know, keep in mind, Becca Kelly, she's a freshman. So a lot of what she's going through right now is just experience and kind of understanding, hey, on that set, I can't go for that sharp angle swing. I've got to just have my money ball where I know I'm going to get it in. It's going to be difficult. That's something that Coach Williams is working on with her in the gym, is just kind of the mind a little bit.
And Lily Nicholson goes right back to her here, and she picks up the kill.
And, you know, it's just like a mental eraser. Like, let's just erase what you did, and let's fill that memory in with this great swing you just took. And it's so important to have that trust between, you know, Lily Nicholson, Becca Kelly. So setters and hitters, just it's a constant trust. You know, are you going to go back to me? And even though I just made this error, and she's good to go. Now Becca Kelly's good to go.
Kelly transferred from Oregon. She's a redshirt freshman, didn't play, didn't even train with the Ducks. And, you know, Coach Williams saying she's just really now, as there's a service ace for the Horned Frogs by Cecily Bramschreiber. But he was saying that, you know, she's just like learning the game. She's almost like a teenager sucking up all this information. We get a look at the serve there.
Yeah, I mean, and a player like Becca Kelly, she's going to be a huge, huge asset for the Horned Frogs going forward.
Nicholson with a quick set in the middle, and Sarah Sylvester collects it, goes to the off-speed ball, picks up the point.
And I imagine it's hard to defend Sylvester. She has a double block there. But based on what she's done so far throughout this match, it's hard to really know, okay, she likes to hit here, she likes to tip here. She's everywhere. So difficult middle blocker to defend for sure.
Bramschreiber serves short. Nicholson sets the back row attack, and down the pipe comes Melanie Parra. That's one of her favorite shots, and she executes it 90% of the time to perfection.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't like to have one blocker up, and then you just decide, all right, am I going to go left? Am I going to go right? And I can go with my full power because I've got this long approach, and the pipe is just such a fun ball to swing.
Nice swing by Sophia Ocampo on the outside. The redshirt sophomore at Humble, went to Kingswood High School. Really hasn't played much.
But, you know, she's making an impact here. Take a look at that swing. Nice seam in the block there for her to just kind of go full where she's facing with all of her power.
Before tonight, she hadn't played since September the 7th against Louisiana Monroe. And there's Becca Kelly again for TCU. Kelly now with 7 kills.
And, you know, Kelly, as we mentioned just prior to this set, you know, the trifecta, the three-headed monster. I mean, she's one of those heads. She's a big part of it. So, you know, although she's a freshman, she does have her mistakes. She's a huge, huge impact for this offense.
And again, it's Becca Kelly for TCU on the outside. Kelly closing in on double-digit kills. Set to the outside. That one hit the net. On attack error against the Mavericks. And TCU once again on a pretty sizable run here has opened up a 7-point lead on the 3-0 run. Service ace for TCU. That is their 4th ace, this one by Lily Nicholson. Well, you can see the smiles on all these Horned Frogs' faces. You know, coming off a win against UCLA, and, you know, okay, the Bruins may be down a little bit this year, but it is still one of the blue blood programs in college volleyball. You know, to win it and really kind of win it handily has to give this team so much confidence. Oh, definitely. And knowing, too, that, you know, kind of similar in ranking, you know, this could mean a lot. It could have meant a lot if they lost. So I think just probably one of the best preseasons in a long time for the Horned Frogs. Lots of confidence there. And TCU already, you know, having won a match against the 6th-ranked 18th ranked Minnesota Golden Gophers, played a 5-set match against the 6th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers. So I think these players are starting to figure out, hey, we can play with anybody in the country. And once that confidence, you know, starts to build, they can go a long way come postseason time. Right, and that's the ticket right there to the postseason is the preseason, actually, and how you start your conference play. Wins against Oklahoma, got beat 3-1 against Nebraska, but played well against the Cornhuskers. And there's Becca Kelly. And when you think about, you know, even that loss to Nebraska back on August the 31st, Becca Kelly and some of these younger players hadn't any experience in college. Yeah, so imagine if, you know, it was, those games are happening now. I mean, but, you know, for Coach Williams, it's got to just be feeling good that, you know, progressing as planned. No really big falls, big dips in their progression, again, going into conference. Side out, trying to go down the line that time was Donkers, and she missed wide. This is actually part of a tournament that the rest of it will take place over the weekend. It's the Horned Frog Invitational. Both UTA and TCU will play Friday and Saturday against Rice and Denver for the remainder of the tournament. And there's a kill by Jalen Gibson, another one for her. That's 12. And a timeout taken on the floor. We're in the 3rd set. Horned Frogs on a 3-0 scoring run, open up a 15-6 advantage. Back with more 3rd set action after this.
Ready?
The Wild Robot is 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Movies just don't get better than this.
Sometimes, to survive, we must become more than we were programmed to be.
The Wild Robot is a cinematic achievement on every level and the best animated movie of the year.
How would you rate my performance? I will register that as a 10.
The Wild Robot, rated PG, in theaters September 27th.
Did you know that if you shave, 1/3 of what you remove is skin? New Dove deodorant helps repair it. So if you shave it, Dove it. New Dove. Replenish your skin after every shave.
I need the perfect banana. Let's see. There are banana bread bananas, banana split bananas, banana cream pie bananas. Ah, got it. Just what they need. Banana bananas.
Back here at Schollmeyer Arena, get a look at the Mavericks.
Fan?
He actually broadcasts the Mavericks games, works in the athletic department.
Okay.
Jason Williams has to be very happy with what he has seen so far. Donkers with the kill. Josh Showers was the gentleman that we were looking at. Does some of the broadcasts, also works in the athletic department for the Mavericks. Backside set. There's Jalen Gibson.
You know, and this is just, you know, a thought that I'm going to express with words right now. Alice Volpe, DS Libero for the Horned Frogs. What an asset. So important right now. The passing, the digs. I mean, pretty much perfect going forward. Take a look at her and how she just contributes.
A great dig by her right there out of Cypress, Texas. Just a freshman, and she will face her mother this weekend. Her mother is the head coach of the Rice Owls.
That's amazing.
So she will have to play against her mother's squad. This ball with the left hand, it looked like Melanie Parr got it over the net, and you can see she's just kind of smiling. The set was too far to the outside, so she just used her other hand and pushed it over. They're going to take a look at this, and the challenge card was pulled out by JT Wenger, but you know, Melanie Parr seems to be able to score using left hand, right hand, all kinds of different ways.
Well, she puts herself in a really good position, so even if the set is not, you know, where she wants it to be or where she expects it, it's always in front of her, so she can always kind of figure out what she's going to do with it. In this case, yeah, it's a wide set. You're going to take a look at the net, the antenna. I mean, lifts. Like there's numerous things that kind of went on in that play. Although I don't know that anything went on that had to do with Melanie Parr. Like, she just pushed the ball over, and then it was on the Maverick side. And I think if there was a net, it might have been on the Maverick side. Obviously, they can talk about a lift, but I don't know that they're challenging that.
Well, when we were talking to Jason Williams a little bit about, you know, different players and whatnot, and he was saying, you know, the great players, the elite players, they just seem to be, you know, if the set isn't perfect, they just figure out a way to score, and that's really what she is. She's an elite player, and she just figures it out, where other players, you know, and he didn't mention by name, but like Becca Kelly's just figuring it out.
Yeah.
When the set's perfect,
right.
It's great, but when the set's a little off, she struggles.
Yeah, and you know, that really is all experience. You know, you're looking at Melanie Parr. She plays with the Mexican national team. She's playing most of the year. So she's played against, think of who she's played against. She's played against other countries, and also from a very young age. So it's just the difference in experience. And I mean, I can attest to that. I was definitely a player when I got to UCLA. I was straight from like Steamboat, Colorado. People are like, what, you ski or you play volleyball? Like, what's going on here? And super raw, right? But I think that's why I like Becca Kelly so much, because I see a little bit of myself in her. Like, okay, you've got the tools. Let's see how you grow the next 3 years.
It'll be fun to watch. On the outside, that ball tooled off the block, and a nice swing that time by Brianna Ford. You know, Ford, that's her 6th kill, and averaging a lot more than that, averaging about 16 kills per match. So she's not having quite the night she was hoping for. Jackie Donkers back to serve. Volpe on the receiving end. And there's Jalen Gibson once again.
And again, great, amazing swing by Gibson. Volpe just passed the perfect pass. Nicholson could run the offense. So, you know, that's what I start to look at. Like, the hitters obviously have to do their job, but the ball is right there. I mean, it's so fun.
Brianna Ford with the big swing and the cross-court kill. If you're wondering about whether or not Jalen Gibson's getting close to her season high in kills, she's got 14. She had 21 against Minnesota in that big upset victory that the Horned Frogs had on the road earlier this year. Again, Volpe with a nice ball on that delivery. Gibson sets Melanie Parra, and Melanie Parra able to get that one off the fingertips of the blockers.
And you know what I love most is this ability for Jalen Gibson to step in and just deliver a nice high ball to Melanie Parra. And you know, obviously Parra just spectacular, right? Waiting and taking a big flat deep swing like she does on those high balls. But just those little things are things that these teams work a lot on in the gym. They work on it every day. And those are the differences.
Melanie Parra with the ace for the Horned Frogs, and Daddy likes it. As they have been here all weekend, gotten an opportunity to see his daughter play volleyball, and they don't get to do that very much. But coming up from Chinola, Mexico for the weekend. It's been Parents' Weekend here and then staying for a while. And that ball way out. Attack error that time by UTA.
And the Mavericks just looking for a way to score a point. You know, I think the frustration as attackers, when you see the score, you're thinking, okay, when I get set, I have to score, right? We've got to go here. It just creates more tension, and it creates more errors. Whereas with the Horned Frogs, it's the opposite. It's, oh man, if I roll shot this ball in or tip this ball and they dig it and they play, we're fine, because I trust my defense. I know that there's other players on the court that are going to score if I don't score. So it's now, that's what you're seeing. A score like this, that's kind of what's in the heads of the Mavericks and the Horned Frogs. And somebody coming back from this score, I mean, it's very, very, very rare. So at this point, hey, get in your rhythm. Let's walk out of here with our heads high. Let's play our volleyball. And, you know, UTA is still doing great. They would be 9-1 if they don't come up winning this set. And it's against the number 23 team in the country.
And again, it's experience that JT Wenger can build on. He can tell his team, this is where we need to be. We need to play more crisper, cleaner. We've got to do a better job of handling the ball, hitting only 0.76 for the match. And so, you know, there'll be things they can work on over the next couple of days in the gym before they come back here to take on Rice on Friday.
Well, yeah, and that's the beauty of playing on Tuesday. They have a few days to have some homework to do, and at this point, Coach Wenger may not have much to work on with their undefeated. Just, hey, do what we've been doing, but now maybe he'll have some more things he can add to the practice plan.
Melanie Parra had 23 kills in a 3-set match last weekend. That was a record for the Horned Frogs, and there's a nice off-speed ball by Brianna Ford for the kill. And Ford now up to 8 kills in the match, but by the time her career is over at the end of this year, Melanie Parra's name is going to be written all over the TCU record book.
It's pretty impressive.
We also talked about, and there's a look at our first look tonight at Evan Hendricks, a highly touted freshman from Scottsdale, Arizona. And the coaching staff's very, very high on her. They think she's going to be a spectacular player in the mold of Melanie Parra. That's a, you know, big weight on your shoulders, but they feel like she can fly just like Melanie Parra can. And back row attack down the pipe. Donkers able to score. 8 kills for her on the night.
And one thing about Donkers is I think I have yet to see her tip roll shot. I mean, she's coming out swinging. She's going for it. She's got guts. And, you know, especially at a time like this score, you're going to go for those type of swings.
She's just a freshman. Serves the outside. Donkers with the swing, dug out by TCU. Hendricks. There's the block. Another block for the Horned Frogs. And 9 tonight.
And it's usually the other way around. It's usually Sylvester with the majority of the blocks, but tonight it's Roberson with 6 so far, and Sylvester just got her second. And, you know, paired with Hendricks, it's a pretty beautiful block there. They're up, they're together, they're in sync.
Hendricks with the point, and it's match point for the Horned Frogs. Back to serve, Ashley Borland. Match point number 1 for TCU, and with this big lead, they have quite a few opportunities to close it out. Borland serves it long. It'll still be match point for TCU. Back to serve, Evan Snook. Gibson having herself a night, 15 kills, and TCU with a 3-set victory here this evening.
And it's got to feel good for Jalen Gibson. She's really come back into her way of play. We saw a great shot there, but just some big swings all throughout the match by Jalen Gibson, and then that trifecta with Melanie Parra and Becca Kelly as well.
Overall, a great job for the Horned Frogs here as they take care of business against crosstown rival UTA and win the first match of the Horned Frog Invitational. They'll take on Rice and Denver this weekend. But overall, this is probably as good a performance as we've seen from TCU.
Definitely, and just keeping their own, playing their game, not shying away from that at all. It's a really good spot to be in going into the tournament.
For Katie Carter, this is Chuck LaMondola saying so long from Fort Worth, where the final tonight, the Horned Frogs sweep UTA 3-0. All games airing on the ESPN networks are archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.
Do you need assistance?
The Wild Robot is the greatest DreamWorks movie ever.
Did anyone order me?
It's not just the best animated movie of the year.
Do you need assistance?
It's one of the best movies, period.
I will protect you.
The Wild Robot. Rated PG. In theaters September 27th.
Thing I see over there, that's me standing in the mirror. If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. 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 I'd wanna be me too.
What you doing?
Just buying a car on Carvana.
You are not.
Yeah, it's super convenient. I already got pre-qualified in 2 minutes.
Say what? That's fast.
Yeah, it is. Oh, look, I can customize my terms.
Say what? Custom down and monthly payments?
Yep. And just like that, my car is getting delivered in a couple days.
Say what? Delivered? Where we live?
Right here.
Right here.
Here.
Car shopping made unbelievably convenient. Finance and buy your car with Carvana today.
This fantasy football season, avoid the auto draft when you're on the clock with Cup Noodle Stir Fry. Don't be Dan from Denver. His hours-long smoking process costs him his chance at glory. Or Nancy from Nashville. That no-contact convenience costs her a chance at me. And messy ketchup hands cost Brian from Boston everything. Cup Noodle Stir Fry. Quick, convenient, mess-free, and always delicious. Every pick is a winner.